Oh, who's that fine-looking gentleman there with Nita?
Oh,
Look familiar.
this is my brother Dick. He is the one that has helped me be able to get into the meetings with video.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, good to see you both.
Yes, yes, you don't have,
I don't know which one was speaking there. I think it's the one that doesn't have a video yet.
That was Jane. She's not, we're not seeing her right now.
Sometimes
You
on
know.
mine,
have,
I'm limited
you have a
on
red
number
line
of
through your microphone?
video at a time, like if I do that,
There's Jane.
you can do that. But if
Ready? Are you still with me? Do you,
What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I'm upside down. I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
turn back around.
That's a good trick.
I'm sorry.
Jane's doing acrobatics.
We missed it.
Well, you could call in and you can listen. Yeah. Can you see us? Can-
Where's the chat? Where's the chat?
Yeah, but your volume might be down too low. Can you see us? Can you see us? Well, you can stay on my phone and, yeah, stay on the phone. All right, I'm gonna put you next to my computer. All right,
I wouldn't be in the computer age at all.
all right, I'm gonna put you right next to my computer and maybe you could see us. And then
Well, listen, I appreciate all your help, but yeah. I won't tell you on a Sunday morning what I generally think of when I think of computers.
all right, well, you can listen if you want, or you could call in. If you call in, you can hear us on your phone. Okay, because we're gonna have to start the meeting now, okay? Because Jane does that too. She listens on one thing and she looks on another.
Actually, I have no, I got the whole thing on both my tablet and
She
my
has- She's doing the Zoom on her phone as opposed to calling in.
phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can do that with a smartphone.
So I just hooked up with my tablet too, but I mute myself and take my video out on the tablet, but that way I can see more people at the same time.
All right, well, that's a little too much. All right, Betty, and we're gonna start. You can hang on if you want. Okay. Hello, everybody. So do we have anybody new? Hi, Bob.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. Oh, we have Laura, my friend Laura from Florida, and she just took all her exams to be a Science and Mind minister.
Wow.
Yay.
Wow.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Knowing you're passing with flying colors.
Oh, that's right. Laura gets.
Thank you.
Laura always gets the highest mark in all the classes. She was in my class.
Right.
Because I see that you have flying colors on your
Yes.
picture.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Very pretty. Okay.
And we have someone named Silver.
Hi, Silver. Welcome to the group. We're so happy you joined us.
That's Sylvia?
I don't know.
Sylvia usually has hers named properly.
Okay.
Oh, we lost Jane's other personality.
Oh.
My incognito personality. Yeah, I don't know. So that's why I hook up to two things.
Well, that's good. That's good. Okay. All right. Silver's still not connected, right?
Uh-oh.
Gonna blow up.
We got Betty.
Now we got a feedback loop.
Betty on that. Okay. Hi, Silver. Welcome to the group.
Woo!
And whose bird is birding?
All right, that's all right, Betty, and I'm gonna have to hang up on you.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh, I think you're on.
Yeah, we got your audio just in.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on. Can you hear us? I'm hanging up.
Well, I turned it off and on for the fourth time.
Well, we got you. Great.
Now that's working.
Yay.
Fourth time's a charm.
I don't know what I did different.
Well,
Nothing, you know.
thank you, God. We're glad you're joining us. Okay.
We hear you.
All right.
Oh, anyway, thank you for your help.
Well,
I guess it was just a lot of spirits working.
that's right. We knew you could do it. Good energy coming. Okay. All right. So we're going to begin. Welcome, everybody. We have a new person, Silva. Would you like to?
Oh, that's Lynn.
Oh, it's Lynn. Okay. Hi, Lynn. Welcome.
Hi.
Glad you could join us. We were wondering.
Morning, Lynn.
Hi, all.
Oh,
Take a breather, Lynn. Things are gonna work out.
What?
Okay, we're going to start with our gathering song.
I'm going to mute everybody. Be sure if you need to speak to unmute yourself when the time comes.
Yeah, Betty Ann, don't touch anything. Stay with us. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I muted her anyway, but
We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is abundance in our fellowship. This is a place we all belong. We place our trust in this great holiness. This is the moment, come along. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is a promise in our thankfulness. We know that when we seek, we find. We place our trust in this great holiness. This sacred space is yours and mine. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. On a journey through the miracles inside.
want to welcome our frontline worker. Donna's here. Donna works nights, so thank you for getting up to be part of our group. And we appreciate all the work you do. Okay, we'll take a breath in and breathe in the presence of God, and we'll breathe out anything that's unwanted, any stress, anything goes. And this is what I know. I know that all the power that there is, and all the presence that there is, and all the life that there is God, the living Spirit Almighty, the eternal reality of all that is. And I permit the spirit of wholeness, the spirit of oneness to flow through me. I recognize my union with all power and all presence and all the life that there is. And I am the center of divine attraction. I receive the gift of God in its fullness. The divine within me is wholeness. My mind reflects this wholeness into every organ, every function, every action, every reaction of my physical being, renewing and vitalizing it to divine perfection. My mind reflects the fullness of that divine substance, which heals every sense of lack in my life. Peace, joy, freedom, abundance, love, living spirit within me is me. I know this truth for myself, and I know it for each one here today, and each one hearing my words. Universal peace and oneness is at the very center of our country. The divine within each of us honors and respects the divine in others. Global health is in the air, and our countries are working together in harmony. Our members are safe, living and spreading the principles of science and mind, and our community grows and attracts the perfect minister. I live in the realization of gratitude by acknowledging our oneness with spirit. Grateful for being at the center of divine attraction. Grateful for all our blessings, seen and unseen. Thankful for peace and health in our world. Deep gratitude for all the awareness of inner awakening and guidance we have all received from the gift of being home. From this high vibration of gratitude, I release my words into perfect action of law. I return it back to the divine, knowing God is all there is, knowing God is the life that lives us, the love that keeps us, and the wisdom that guides us. I let go and let God, and we all say together, and so it is. We do our identity prayer. I know that within myself, there is that life which is perfect, complete, and divine. It was never born, and it cannot die, for it lives and is God. Within myself is wholeness, peace, poise, and the power of life. This life is health, it is abundance, it is love. There is one life, and it is the life of God, and this is my life now, and so it is. And this week, we are doing a message from David Ault. And just a little bit about David. David came to the Center for Spiritual Living in Asheville a few times, and he is really an amazing soul. He was the Minister of Science of Mind in Atlanta for 7 years. And I found an article about them that was really interesting to me. So he was there for 7 years, and he found that his community, the members, were coming back to him with the same problems over and over and over again. So he was extremely frustrated, thinking, and he took the responsibility on himself for people not getting it, not living it. They could recite it, but they weren't applying any of the principles to their lives. And he felt that very upsetting to him. So he left there and he's now an author. He's a worldwide speaker, and he founded the Kaleidoscope Child Foundation, and he works with children in Cambodia, in India, in Guatemala. And when he was when he came to Asheville, we had like a Christmas tree that, you know how you pick off the Christmas tree and buy a gift for someone? Well, we bought wells for children, you know, not children, for everybody in these countries. So he has done amazing, amazing work there. And he's also an adventurer, and he's hiked in Peru, in Spain, in Africa, and he's on YouTube, and I'm sure you're going to be looking him up because he's an amazing being. So that's a little bio about him. So this is
and Kathy, and before all of that, even before he was a minister, he was a New Thought singer-songwriter, and a really wonderful one at that. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I met him at Unity 20 years ago when I got him. He used to come to Unity here to sing for us.
Wow, I did not know that he was a singer.
Yeah.
He's got amazing talents.
Yes,
Really
yes.
is. He kind of lives his walk, you know, and his talk. So this is a meditation by him, and then we'll go right into the message. So enjoy. Let's take a breath in.
There are times when traveling on the same path no longer provides us with the scenic stimulus that is crucial for our evolvement. Maybe something is quietly begging us to break away from the way we've always done it. We've outgrown the job, the career, the relationship. Outgrown doesn't necessarily mean become better than. It simply means we've grown out of the physical, emotional, and spiritual fit it once was. An old path for you might be perfect for someone else, just as someone else's old path might be refreshingly rewarding for you. Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when hugging our troubles no longer brings us comfort. The poor thing assurances from others no longer soothe but irritate. We become worn out by our self-subscribed smallness and can't find a reason to toot the horn of mediocrity anymore. Inside, we hear a grander instrument calling for us to pick it up and play in a larger orchestra. Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when tying life's shoelaces feels more than we can endure. Given that life is here to support and champion our spirit, not diminish or drain it, then maybe what we're being impressed to do is relinquish our grip on the laces and step into a pair of slip-ons instead. Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when windows of opportunity appear, and for whatever fear-based reason, we decline to crawl through them. The thing to remember is that there are other windows. They may appear in a different emotional architecture, but we somehow remember that windows are everywhere. To say you missed the only opportunity is like saying you missed your only chance to breathe. Another window is out there, waiting, whispering for you to crawl through its opening. Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when planning or strategizing seem for naught, when the current pool of ideas fall and all efforting only creates bigger degrees of disappointment. Dissolving effort means strengthening our allowing, and allowing means surrendering to how we think it needs to happen. That kind of surrender requires vacationing from struggle, digging our hands in dirt, picking up a fishing pole, meditating, flying a kite, playing with a child. Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when we let our age define what we can and cannot do. We forget that it is simply a number and that our mindset can be ageless. The nonsense of what society claims as age appropriate can be quieted by our own inner guidance, the one that calls us to continue our creative quest no matter how old we are, no matter how much or how little we have created in the past. Something inside begs us to remember our ability to contribute. Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when human drama will feel impenetrable. We will find ourselves seduced by it. Like an insatiable hunger, it can control all aspects of our lives as we feed it with our thoughts. The solutions of life wait in expectancy for equal time and attention. When will the experience of solution be as riveting and rewarding as the drama? When will we wake up with the same urgency to feed the solutions? Perhaps now is one of those times. There are times when our hearts feel broken and irreparable. We walk the tightrope of vulnerability only to discover no external net is there to catch us when we fall. We vow never to attempt such foolhardy acts again, forgetting we were born to walk the high wire of unconditional love. To cease would be like chaining a running stallion. We're aware of the possibility to retrain ourselves, to shed conditions and expectations, and to love purely without agenda. Our hearts can and do mend. Our bodies grow lighter as we contemplate another try. Perhaps now is one of those times. Yes, there are times when being tired, listless, troubled, fearful, angry, heartbroken will come. For this earth journey certainly offers an emotional bounty. Likewise, there are equal doses of vibrancy, serenity, divine knowing, elation, joy, and love, all eagerly awaiting our acceptance. Yes, even in the midst of human tragedy, there is grace. Even in the midst of emotional darkness, there is light. And even in the midst of abandonment, there is great love. At some point, it will click. The remembering will occur, and we will return to the simple truth that every event provides us with choice. Every choice creates a reaction. And the reactions set a pattern of conditioning for the quality of our immediate world. There will come a time when we will know this with every fiber of our being, and we will choose joy. We will choose to honor our sacred self. We will choose to thrive, and we will choose to love all unconditionally. Perhaps now is one of those times.
Okay, we're going to go right into the message.
Beautiful morning to everyone. We will begin to just sit in the exquisite anticipation of those who will be joining us for a few minutes. So wherever you are in the world, as you join in, make your joining deliberate, make your body posture deliberate. Allow yourself to be in a place of comfort and receivership, opening to and allowing all of the good from a place of beginner's mind. Thank you for saying welcome and hi. Hello, Lori and Audrey. Thank you, Robert, for joining, and Catherine and Penelope. Wherever you are in the world, introduce yourselves to those who are watching with you. Hello, Bob. Ah, how nice. Thank you to my sanctuary, my beautiful space of sacred remembering. Know that as you are joining me, hello, Helene. How nice to see your name there. As you're joining me, you're joining the beautiful, sacred, divine energies of blessed ones, ancestors, divine beings that are welcomed here. And so thank you again for coming. I'm so excited to share with you the message today. And I marvel at how quickly just half an hour goes by. And so let's get to it. And we know that as people join in with us, they do in the right and perfect timing. Also know too that at any time, this is always available. I do start to transfer them over to a YouTube channel in which you can go and participate and go through and find all kinds of old archival footage of teachings. Interesting to watch, and maybe there's something of value there for you as well. So let's get to it. Take a deep breath wherever you are. Wherever you are. Wherever you are. That means physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Wherever you are, it is perfect. Wherever you are, the answer already is. Wherever you are, that which is the allness is fully blossomed, and you and I get to pick from, smell it, invite it, take it in to the degree of our awareness of it. And so perhaps the intention this morning is just to expand that awareness, to expand our clarity, to expand our openness, to expand our consciousness and stretch it so that a larger idea, a greater framework of solution, a larger wave of peace crashes onto the shore of our welcoming heart. And we know that all is well, for all is God. And so everything that is right and perfect energetically within your life, that which is your guides, your spirits, your teachers are here. Those which are my spirits, my guide, my teachers are here. And that portal is open, it is welcoming. And we already celebrate the fact that each of us receives the divine gift. Isn't it wonderful to know that that gift is particularized? It has our name on it. It has our vibration. It has our very heart and soul in it. And it is being handed to us now. And so we receive it and we say thank you. And we say thank you. How blessed it is to have technology, to have a way to be able to connect regardless of where we are. We defy geography. And we know that we are together. We are united. As close as breath, as close as the beating of our heart, we are in sync, we are in oneness, and we let it be so. And so it is. Yay, good morning, good morning. So I was thinking about my spiritual lineage because of my hunger to continue to study all kinds of paths. I am always drawn back into a place of honoring my lineage. And the lineage that I was honoring this week and going back to was my metaphysical lineage, my spiritual reawakening, if you will, that started in the 1980s with something called The Science of Mind, written by Ernest Holmes. The Science of Mind, in my humble estimation, is a beautiful amalgamation of ancient teachings presented in such a way that it takes from the consciousness of Ernest Holmes, it takes all of that ancient wisdom, it takes that Eastern bent, and it brings to us beautiful remembrances and blendings of the wisdom of people like Ralph Waldo Emerson, who from a very radical standpoint began to realize that God was in all things. That realization came from the observation of nature. The The science of mind is a blending of the brilliancy of Thomas Troward, who began to look at and understand the creative power behind thought, and that thought is energy. It's the brilliant blending of the compassionate wisdom of Jesus, the Christ, and the way in which he understood how to meet people where they are. By that meaning, in his elevated and continuing elevation of consciousness and his ascension understanding, his Christ consciousness becoming Jesus the Christ, that he knew that the best way to reach people was not through sophistication, but through parable. And when you start to see the flavors of how all of these things are blended in, then Ernest Holmes took that and from his heart produced the science of mind. And one of its strong suits is application, and that application has to do with prayer and our approach to prayer. Because you see, many of us had a background, and many still do, that somehow prayer is a supplication or a beseeching of something external, a God, a deity. And we've done that through the level of our understanding up to this point in time. But what Ernest tried to begin to introduce to us was scientific prayer, that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So the word that we are speaking is not going to God, but it is with God. In other words, we're not praying to, we're praying as. It was a wonderful, wonderful mental reset for me, something that was challenging, something that I found I struggled with from time to time, because old indoctrination wanted to teach me that, or wanted to pull me back, rather, into wanting to ask rather than learning to open up and to reveal. Open up and reveal the solution that's already there. And as I was reflecting on my lineage this week, it was all of the things that were most profound to me from my studies, from my divinity degree, from my years in teaching this philosophy. And it all boiled down to a paragraph. A paragraph, not from the big, large textbook called The Science of Mind, but from one of the earliest writings of Ernest Holmes, and it was called Creative Mind and Success. Many years I traveled. I had the fortunate, graceful opportunity to be able to visit, to speak, to teach, to blend in with so many congregations, spiritual centers, and churches in the New Thought world, of which Science of Mind is part of that philosophy. And in one of those years, I was gifted with an early edition of Creative Mind and Success, the book that I was referencing earlier. Creative Mind and Success was written in 1919, long before the Science of Mind book was finished. And it is in this book that paragraph that still speaks to me today echoes. It echoes in my heart and in my mind and in my consciousness. And I'm always curious as to why. And I always know that there are unlimited layers by which we can dissect something. And so I went back to that paragraph today. And it is in Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. And he simply says, a good practice is to sit and realize that you are a center of divine attraction, that all things are coming to you, and that the power within is going out and drawing back all that you will ever need. That you and I are centers of divine attraction. I am the center of divine attraction. Say that, wherever you are, you say that. I am the center of divine attraction. What does that feel like? I am the center of divine attraction. And I remember almost like electricity going through my body when I would say that. And I would get this visual of a bullseye, like a target. And I would imagine that there were angels who were archers with bows and arrows, and that every time I had a desire, every time I had a longing, a sacred desire, a sacred longing, that which was equated to evolution within me. The moment as that occurred, that bow and arrow from that celestial angel was pulled back and released, and that I am the center of divine attraction. So the moment that I had the desire is the moment by which that arrow would pierce my heart, and it would bring to me a realization. It wouldn't bring me the desire, the manifestation of the desire, because the manifestation of the desire was in me, but it would pierce my heart, and it would open and reveal to me that it was there, that what I was seeking was already within me, that what I craved and hungered and longed for was already a part of me. And it was powerful. And I would walk around all of the time going, I am the center of divine attraction. I am the center of divine attraction. I am the center of divine attraction. And I was thinking about that a lot this week. I got to read the whole paragraph because it's just so beautiful. It says, a good practice is to sit and to realize that you are a center of divine attraction. That all things are coming to you. Not some things, all things. All things are coming to you. And that the power within, not external power, but the power within you and I is going out, drawing back all that you and I will ever need. And then he says, don't argue about it, just do it. I used to joke a lot when I would teach this because I thought, well, Nike owes Ernest Holmes some residuals. Don't argue about it, just do it. And when you have finished, in other words, when you have finished using the law of word, when you have finished the prayer, when you have surrendered it to the all, then leave it to the law, knowing that it will be done. Declare that all life, all love, and power are now in your life. Declare that you are now in the midst of plenty. Stick to it, even though you may not as yet see the result. It will work, and those who believe the most naturally always get the most. Think of the law as your friend. I love that. Think of the law as your friend, not as something punitive, not as something punishing, not from a definition of karma that says, ooh, not from the old energy of the reaping and sowing that is finger wagging, but think of the law as your friend. Think of the law as your friend, almost parental in nature, equally desiring that you and I return to the awareness that we are in the midst of plenty. Think of the law as your friend, always looking out for your interests. Then trust completely in it, and it will bring you your good. I remember reading that over and over and over again. I remember there were times when I was like, yes, like I could get on board with that so easily without any resistance. And then there were times in the midst of some type of darkness or sometimes some forgetfulness that I would think almost that this was like spiritual bypass. Like, who do you think you are telling me that I'm in the midst of plenty when I am suffering and I'm in pain? And it's fascinating. It's fascinating to look at the ebb and flow. It's fascinating to become curious about the way in which we are, not just in one particular state, but how we are. The sustainability of the I amness, that I am the center of divine attraction, even when it appears as though there is nothing there. So I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book about polarity. Doesn't sound like a very exciting subject, does it? and I've been watching myself because the few people that I've talked to about the book and the process of the book, and they say, well, what's it about? And I say, well, it's about the principle of polarity. You know, the old Hermetic law that talks about how every truth is a half-truth and every half-truth is a truth. It sounds kind of dry. But I want you to know the book is in no means dry. It is a story. It is a narrative of that ebb and flow, of the pain and the suffering and the beauty, and how all of that, through my own personal life and all of those that I have been privileged to be in community with, how we navigate that in human form. How we navigate that in human form. And personally, I have, if I'm allowed to have a favorite, it is my favorite law. The principle of polarity, the law of polarity has become my favorite law because I realize that if I can be masterful with the law of polarity, that all of the other laws, all of the other principles, to me are a piece of cake. If I can know that when there is night, that night is an illusion, that darkness is an illusion, because the only thing that is really real is the constancy of light, then I will have been able to master all of my forgetfulness. And so you see, to say that you and I live in elongated states of illusion, that this thing called a human experience is an illusion, is not dismissive. It's very accurate. But the illusion is very real for us, and it should be very real for us because it is a part of the curriculum by how you and I evolve into greater states of mastery. Without the illusion, there wouldn't be the journey. And so aren't we amazing? Because what we have done is in the presence of this thing called the night or darkness, we invent artificial lights that are equipped to automobiles, which help us navigate through the darkness. And even though this thing, which is darkness, is very, very real to us, the only reality is that there is light. But we will invent things to help us navigate through the illusion. So we invent beliefs that help us navigate through the illusion. There was a teacher of a wise Zen master who observed the Zen master crying over the death of his son. And he was confused by that. And he went to the Zen master and he says, "I don't understand, O Baba, O teacher, why you are crying. You have taught us that death is an illusion." And the Zen teacher just looked at him with these tear-filled eyes and he said, "Yes, you're right. Death is an illusion. And the death of a son is probably one of the greatest illusions of them all." And so polarity teaches me that in the external, the all of the I am, the fact that I am the center of divine attraction, there will be times when I will relish in the beauty of that, and I will know wholeheartedly that indeed, even as I speak it, even before I speak it, it is there. That the divine archer releases that arrow and activates the manifestation of that, just like that. It's what some mystics call flying in the face of the mirror, that the moment that I have the desire is revealed. And then there are times when I am in the valley of the shadow of death, when I am in the dark night of the soul, and even in that place there is beauty. I was remembering in my early travels of being asked to go to Calgary, to a spiritual center there, because they were without a minister. And I agreed to go for about a month and a half. I didn't stay the month and a half, but I would travel back and forth where I was living in Los Angeles because it was not that far of a flight. And at the time, I was being very much influenced by this paragraph in Creative Mind and Success. And so I was teaching that. And as I looked over the crowd in this center, I noticed that the auditorium was split into 3 sections. There was a left side, an aisle, a center, an aisle, and a right side. And very spontaneously, just like we do at sports events where people do the wave. Have you seen that? I said, all right, I want this section, the section on the left, I want you to, when I cue you, to stand up with your hands in the air and go, I am. And then I want you in the center to go, the center of. And then I want you on the right to say, of divine attraction. I am the center of divine attraction. I am the center of divine attraction. And on cue, I began the process, and like magic, each section would stand up and they would shout with enthusiasm their part. I am, and then the center of, and then divine attraction. And I kept it going. I kept the rhythm of it going, and it got a little frenzied, and we kept going until almost it was as if we were like a whirling dervish, that we had lost ourselves in the beauty of the mantra after about 4 minutes, and then we stopped. And everybody started to laugh and to feel the ecstasy of that remembrance. And I thought about that this week, and I thought, that's what polarity is. There are sections of it, the I am, which is the macro, which is the God, that rises to the top. The center of, which is my responsibility to recognize and to align with the I am, of divine attraction. And that when the combination of those two things happen, I can appreciate the gift, I can see the gift of the divine attraction. And what polarity has taught me is that everything is a divine attraction. The pain and suffering is a divine attraction. It isn't just a good attraction or a bad attraction. All of the pain and suffering, and this is for your consideration, all of the pain and suffering that you have experienced or are experiencing is a divine attraction from the I am. Because it is a part of that curriculum. It is the night, it is the darkness, and that none of it is bad. So the principle of polarity says what? All truths are half-truths. So all truths are half-truths, and all half-truths are truths. What does that mean? That means that whatever identities, whatever beliefs that you and I carry, it has a spectrum to it. It has a full-blown, if you will, and who knows how you and I will ever get there, but it has a full-blown realization of the all. I think that the human container can only take so much of that before we would explode. But in the infinite expression of the all, that is on one side of the spectrum of this polarity. And then on the other, there is a diminished degree of that allness. And yet it is conjoined. It is not separate, it is not opposite. And the word opposite is used often to describe this principle of polarity. And so even the pain and the suffering and the longing is a part of the beautiful, ecstatic dance that you and I do with the all. And so here's the thing. We must stop, or we must cease, or we must lessen trying to get rid of something. We must cease the desire to get rid of something. Because in the desire to get rid of, to run away from, to damn, to label, futurizes, pushes away our realization of that light that is there. I am the center of divine attraction. That I amness never, ever, ever betrays us. It is never watered down. It is not It is not diluted in any way. It just appears that way based upon where we are in the center of our being and our ownership of that I amness. So what is our work to do in the world? It isn't about trying to decorate the external world, to decorate and to curate our friendships and our geography and our places. All of those things are fun. There's nothing wrong with them. But the placement of those things and the curation of what is pleasing and what is not pleasing is where the fallacy lies, because all of it is a part of the divine attraction. So how are you and I with the pain? And yes, predominantly I'm talking about emotional pain. Yes, predominantly I'm talking about the realities, the small r realities of abandonment and abuse and the thought of having to preserve our heart for fear of being hurt again. But yet all of that is a part of the beauty. I expressed to someone this week, I said, what I've come to remember is that I am a man who is in perpetual longing. There is this ache, there is this longing inside of me. And I realized that many of my mistakes, if you will, have been about trying to push away the longing. And again, nothing wrong with that. That is a part of my divine attraction, because with each suppression, it only enhances the longing until the longing must be heard. And I realized, as I said to this person, that the longing is beautiful. It's a beautiful pain, because it is the thing that ceaselessly draws me to the one. It ceaselessly draws me to a greater reality of what love is. It makes me so hungry for God that I would not want to deny any of the process. And so you and I are the center of divine attraction. And so that which we would want to hide, or that which we are ashamed of, is a part of the divine attraction. As I heard someone, a colleague years ago, beautifully say, hey, when you make a mistake, paint it red. In other words, don't hide it away like a skeleton in the closet. Bring it out and say, oh, look at this. Because with each thing that we love and each thing that we place upon the altar and we look at it, we look at the shame, we look at the fault finding, we look at, oh my God, there's my ego again. Oh my God, there's my fear of losing control. And when we can begin to love all of those things, then the I am in the center of my being takes all of that divine attraction and it blends it and it molds it and it fashions it into something that serves me so profoundly. Even though all of it serves me, it serves me in the realm of light rather than in the realm of darkness, if that makes sense. The principle of polarity, all truths are but half-truths. So whatever truth you and I are walking around with, the half-truth of that is that there is an illusion to it. And the illusion is good. What? The illusion is good. It serves us in some way. It fuels the longing. It enhances the nature of the seeker inside of us. It's the thing that sometimes causes us to be still. It's the thing that sometimes drops us to our physical or our metaphoric needs. And nothing is bad. and everything is good. And depending upon where you are in your life, depending upon what you have seen in the world, and I've seen some stuff. There are things that I've seen in developing countries that I can't unsee. So I don't speak about this flippantly. I speak about this from a place of realizing and being in awe of the curriculum that I am being asked time and time and time again to see the half-truths in my identities so that a bigger truth can be revealed, so that an identity can die inside of me. The identity that labels things as unbearable, the identity in me that labels things as bad, the identity within me that can only see suffering from the lens of inhumane. And it says, you will not survive. You will not survive the work that you are called to do if you do not let that identity die. You must step into a greater realm of perception. And that greater realm of perception does not mean that you do not become involved or that you do not advocate. But now you become involved from a place that encompasses it all rather than trying to push and prevent. Encompasses it all and loves it all, and transfiguration begins to occur rather than trying to distance and push away and overcome and punish. And I know that it doesn't make sense. That truth doesn't make sense in a world that will tell us that there is a right and there is a wrong. That this action is this and this action is that this is sacred and this is profane. But it's there, it's deep, it's a calling. So how do I synthesize that? You are the center of divine attraction. All that is good, Ernest Holmes said, all that is good, all that you seek, makes its way to you. Not from the realm of the external, but it makes its way to you, already inside, through our recognition of it. So we postpone that recognition. Hear me. We postpone that recognition when we try to get rid of it. But the arrow from the divine pierces our heart, breaks open that identity, and reveals to us the fact that solution, the thing that we want, has always been there. But you and I realize it when we learn to embrace and to love all things. All things. All things are working together for our good, to them that love the Lord, or to them that love and understand the law, because the law loves us. Do not fret, my friends. Or at least do not stay in the energy of fretting. Do not push your pain away, but do not let the pain lead you into such a place that it clouds your understanding of the light. Do not curse the darkness. Do not become vengeful at those who have wronged you, but begin to realize and know that your destiny, if you will, your power lies in the understanding that you are the center of divine attraction, and that everything that you need is there and is revealed to you and I, one unveiling, one unveiling, one unveiling after another. May you be blessed. May you live in harmony, joy, and peace. God bless you.
We're going to do our song now so we can just process all that. And I know this was a pretty deep message, and I'm sorry for making you think so early in the morning. But let's do a song and we can process this a little more.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick about the song. This song was embedded in our service last week, but it is it's just so perfect to anchor this talk, I think, and it comes as close with Eddie Watkins Jr., who wrote the song, and his performance of it at Mile High Church comes as close to what I imagine as of this of David Ault having the congregation stand up and sing and saying that as the wave. It comes as close to that experience as I could find for this week in song for this service. So enjoy and participate.
Thank you, Jane.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives. You are the place. Moves and breathes and has its being. We are the place. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives. You are the place. We are the place. I am the place where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins, can I have some more of that? Can we have some more of that? A little more? A little more.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins. Good job, brother. Outstanding. Eddie Watkins Jr.
That was perfect, Jane. Perfect. Wow. Okay.
So Jane, he was the one that wrote that song, right?
Yeah.
The last week, the rendition of it that we heard was a different singers and so forth. So this time we heard the song from its writer.
Right. I think everybody's muted, so let's unmute it.
Yeah, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay, everybody unmute. I have
Yes,
to,
Eddie Watkins wrote the song.
I have to admit, I listened to this many times to get it. It was deep for me to go there, and I did have to listen a few times in order to get that half truth, where he said all truths are half truths and all half truths are truths. And the story came to mind for me, how I could understand it. And he had said, you have to change your identity when you label something unbearable or bad. And you can't, because you can't do your purpose. And the story of Mother Teresa came to me, where she lived in this poverty and she saw all this unbearable things happening to people. And if she stayed in that and labeled it unbearable, she wouldn't have been able to do all the good things that she did and helped the people. So that I could understand it from that perspective, and that happened to me in my life. I worked in a mental hospital with deformed kids for a while, and everybody would say to me, how could you do that? How could you do that? And then you'd like, how could you not do it? And it's like, I understand what he means. You have to change your identity of labeling something unbearable. So I'd love to hear what everybody thinks about it.
Well, the more when you push away from something, or when you, as he said it, to seek to get rid of something, you're putting energy into it. And the law of attraction, in my paraphrase of it, is whatever you put energy into gets bigger. So the more you push away against it, the more you build it up. You don't have to push away things. What we're called upon to do is to create something else. You don't push away from that, you create the new.
Yeah.
They're drawing that stuff to you so you can learn and grow. And if you label it opposite, you're not going to learn the lesson and you just stay stuck. You have to go. You have to let go of that stuff, because what you brought into your life, the people are mirrors of you, telling you something about yourself. Situation is a mirror of what's in your consciousness, telling you about yourself. And if you try and label it as opposite, you're going to be fighting against something with no success, and you're not going to grow.
Well, just like the song, I am the place where God shows up. That's where you are. And if you can take that in, that can save you from a lot of stuff, You can say, thank you, God. I'm here to help. I'm here to help these children or whatever, wherever you are. The only problem I had with him is his inflection was so the same that it was boring almost. I don't know how to say that right. He didn't go up or down in his voice.
Oh, his voice.
It was too
What do you
calm. It
mean?
was too straight. It was no emotion there. And
That's my Mr. Rogers.
Mhm.
My kids loved Mr. Rogers, and I couldn't stand that he wasn't up or down. He was just so plain. But
Right, exactly. I know that feel. That's the way this man reminded me, David Ault. Not that he didn't have a good message. He did.
yeah,
It's just that that one of the reasons I like Roger Teal is
yeah,
because he can go up and down.
yeah.
You know, that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, well, this man is a very quiet, he's very quiet himself. So it was, it's who
I
he
tell
is.
you, in person, he is, well, and you've experienced him in person, Kathy. His aura is just, I mean, my God, he is love itself. I remember when he used to come, he'd do it like a sermon in song. I don't know if you were coming at that time or not, Carolyn, but it was long enough ago that when I helped him sell his music after the service, that they were cassettes.
Oh, wow.
I remember that. I think I
Cassette
do,
tapes,
but
but I
it's been so
remember-
long ago that anyway.
Yeah, but I still remember standing next to him at the table and selling those cassettes, and just, I mean, I just absolutely fell head over heels in love with him.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt that he back in those days was just absolutely drop dead gorgeous too. but in person that that lack of going up and down or being dramatic and so forth, it doesn't matter at all, because you feel that you're just entranced by the love that he exudes. And I was at a music symposium, a music conference at Unity Village several years later, when he gave a talk about, which also is another kind of an aspect of this not pushing against, and just of what we're talking about here, of what he was saying, not pushing against, but just being with. And he was talking to all of us as singers and saying that the way he had learned to be a singer is that he had just likened it to a waitress in a diner, and she goes up and down all the booths with her pot of coffee, and she asks coffee. And some people will say yes, and some people will say no, thank you. And some people will say yes. And if they say yes, then you pour the coffee. They say thank you. You just walk on and you smile at everybody. And that's you as a singer. So some people may like you singing. Some people, you may not be their cup of coffee, but you just say, okay, thank you. And you move on.
I agree.
And accept it, don't take it personally. And that said a lot to me. That I took that lesson. That was a very powerful lesson.
Yeah. And I also liked what he said about think of the Lord as your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. It's a way of thinking, and it's just I don't know. It was challenging, that whole thing about all truths are half truths and half truths are truths. What do people think about that?
Ooh, may I speak?
Please.
I had a dream the other night, and I was reading in the dream, and I read this line, which was that mindfulness is no more than skillful delusion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Delusion.
Which that's my response to what I hear him saying. And I woke up, I thought, holy crap, write that down.
Mindfulness, skillful delusion.
Yeah, that's a good one to put out on your post, Bob.
Okay. Skillful delusion. There is a separation, or there can be no life. We require the I am for existence, and we are both, as everybody's saying, we're both sides of the separation. But doing it skillfully. That's it. No fall. No fall.
Yeah.
Or falling in love, which is completely falling and accepting everything.
Yes.
Wow. That was good.
Well, that statement that the law is your friend, so take comfort in it. That boils down to, do you think that you live in a friendly universe or an unfriendly universe? You know, if you live in a friendly universe, then the law is your friend. Take comfort in it.
Yeah.
So you basically think that it's an unfriendly place to be. The law is not going to feel like your friend.
Yeah. And consequently, you're going to be pushing against it. You're going to have negative emotions about it. You're going to be, looking over your shoulder about it. There's all this negative connotations to it. But you think of it as, think of being around someone who is your friend and someone who is you consider to be less than a friend. Which one of those are you going to be more willing to allow, more willing to accommodate?
Well, we're going through that right now with the election, with the law is your friend, with this voting thing, which I think is very interesting, with electoral votes.
Yeah.
When they're,
Yeah. And Dick, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just saying that it's our perspective is always a choice of how we view something.
Absolutely.
And I've been, for the past several years, about 3 or 4 years, I've been studying A Course in Miracles, and one of the phrases in there, it's very simple but very profound too. It just says simply, choose again. Choose again how you view the situation.
Right.
What are your thoughts when it says that things are illusions?
That for me?
Yeah, anyone.
Well, as long as we're in physicality, it's real. It seems real to us, and it is real. It's solid, but it's not the ultimate reality is the way I look at that. If life is an illusion, it's just simply not the ultimate reality. While we're in this physical body, and it certainly seems real to us. When we stub our toe into darkness, it seems pretty real. It's not the ultimate reality.
Well, that example he gave about his son being died and thinking that as an illusion. So it does put things into perspective.
Yeah, when we lose a loved one to death, we say, well, death is an illusion. It's real when we're viewing it from this side, but it's not the ultimate reality.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, you said that the death of a son was the
ultimate illusion.
Ultimate illusion. One of the ultimate illusions. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think when David was talking about the half truths, I think he was talking about one end or the other of the poles. He talked about the law of polarity. So that half truths would be one end of the polarity, and the other half truth would be like the other end of the polarity. And perhaps that's the way he was kind of referring to that, to those half truths, experiencing one or the other, at a time.
He also said, without illusions, there's no journey. That was interesting.
Does illusions mean imagination?
Right.
Well, if you look at if you look at life from a material perspective, and then you look at it from a spiritual perspective. From the spiritual perspective, the material is this little finite section of it, but it's, you know, it is, as I understand it, it is all basically an illusion. It's like going into a movie theater and you watch the movie, and when the movie's done, the lights come up and you file out and you go on, and it's an experience that you had, but it's not the reality. And that's my perception of what life is this form of entertainment that we've taken on as spiritual beings. So it is essentially all a illusion.
So Paul, if I ask you how you are, you're going to tell me entertaining?
Yeah.
Your decision is what kind of entertainment you're in. Are you in a drama? Are you in a musical comedy? Are you, what kind are you in?
I like what Swami Satchidananda said in regards to this about the chalkboard. If you want to learn a lesson, you might write something on a chalkboard, and the chalkboard's black and the chalk is white. And without that contrast, you can learn what's being written on the board. But if the chalk was white and the chalkboard was white, what could you learn? What could you see? Nothing.
The little black light that lights up black on a black background to tell you something's wrong.
It's this is us slow down, all this physical stuff, slow down to focus like we do in meditation. We focus on the one point to slow things down and get in vibration with a higher vibration. And that's what life is. It's a slow down vibration, because higher vibration is all one. Well, we're not all one. This is a dualistic world. And in that regard, it's an illusion. And that illusion allows us to learn so that we can get more in vibration with the higher, get more in line with a higher vibration.
Say that some more about slow down.
This physical world, like light, where everything is all is one, is the highest vibration there is. This physical is a slow vibration.
Okay.
Yeah, Kat, I tend to think of things in that way too. That here in the three-dimensional plane, we've just stepped down the vibration, stepped it down till it's congealed in material being and so forth. And but when we can look with a super microscope inside ourselves, there's just, there's an idea of the illusion of the solidness of it all. It's an illusion because if we look inside, we see these things just flying around, millions of atoms and stuff are flying around inside us, or in the table too. And so that's one way that we have the illusion, but it's like it's getting it outside of ourselves, like the chalkboard and so forth, that allows us to somehow to learn the lessons. It has to be stepped down into this apparently solid mass for us to like catch it, and to grasp it. And so I don't know, that's just part of the way that I'm, that I think about things. It's not
it's like when you've got a big decision to make, you what do? You sort of go off by yourself. That's kind of what this is, life is.
No, I asked my wife.
Why? What would she say?
Slow down.
I don't know. I asked her 45 years ago, and she's still telling me. So I haven't come to the end of the answer yet.
And that's why they're still married.
Right.
The intrigue.
And the other thing that he kept bringing up was your longing. Your longing must be heard. And that's, have to think about that one. What your longing is. And you know, it keeps coming back whenever you, suppress it.
I think it's your passion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And your
What you
passion is
want.
why, and your passion is why you're here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I coach people about is, if you want to know what your own special power is, get plugged into your passion, because your passion is essentially defined by what your own special power is.
Well, that's why it came to mind, the Mother Teresa story. If you're labeling things unbearable, then you don't do your passion,
Yeah. Well, if you're labeling something as unbearable, basically you're pushing against it. And you may remember one of Mother Teresa's things was, if you're having a anti-war demonstration, don't invite me. If you're having a peace rally, invite me.
Right.
So, she understood that pushing against something just puts energy into it.
Right.
And saying this is unbearable is pushing against it. The point is not to deny something's existence, but rather to create something different,
Right.
better.
Are you saying acceptance, Paul?
I think to a degree you have to accept the what is, but you don't have to. When you're laying in a mud puddle, you have to accept that you're laying in a mud puddle, but you don't have to stay there. You can create something different. Pushing against it isn't going to help, but creating something new is going to create something new. So, if you don't like it, create something new.
It's
You make a statement, that closes your mind. When you define something, you're making a statement. When you open yourself up to something, you're asking a question, you're becoming receptive.
And it's like labeling yourself a victim. You stay in that victimhood mode, and then you can't get yourself out of that.
You can't learn and grow in that way.
Right.
Here's a good analogy. A number of years ago, when Ann and I built an airport community in east of Georgetown, Texas, there was, I was working full time that whole time. So my time to actually build this airport was evenings and weekends. So basically Saturday, I built that airport on Saturday mornings. And, there was many the Saturday morning that I'd get up and I'd be all stiff and sore, and I really didn't want to go out and do stuff because I just didn't feel very good. And, but I'd go out and do it anyway. And what I found was that the mornings that I would get up and be all stiff and sore and,
And
not wanting to do it, when I would go ahead and do it, then it didn't take very long before I felt pretty good. I didn't feel stiff and sore and so forth. I might feel a little sore, kind of the good muscle sore from having done some good work, but I didn't feel bad, and I didn't feel like not doing it when I went ahead. So the point is that I could have put energy into that not feeling good, or I could have put energy into creating something new. And I chose to put the energy into creating something new. And as a result of that, I felt better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got things done too.
Well, I just wanted you to hear him. And I'm glad we did. So any other comments on his talk?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty deep. Just like,
Yeah.
It was deep. I made you think early in the
sometimes I had trouble following them.
Yeah.
It was confusing to me a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like I'm not sure he understood so much. But the meditation to me was more of a sermon than a meditation. He was getting us to think about all these things, and meditation is to quiet and to be receptive. And it was kind of like we had two sermons to me.
Yeah.
The first sermon was good, but it was to me not a meditation, but sort of a poetic discussion of getting through something.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we are coming up on to Thanksgiving. So I'm going to throw something out. And I would just like everybody to just say one thing, one blessing that they've received from being on lockdown. Just anything.
We've gotten lots done on our house.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I saw the painting.
Painting, nice, nice. I kind of learned how to be still, which is not very easy for me.
Be still and know that I am.
That's right. Just be still.
Go in.
Still, you know. So that was a big thing for me to learn. So.
I didn't hear what you said, Dick.
And me is
I said the opportunity to go within.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. Is it sort of helped me direct more inwardly, just in reading and reflecting. Because I had lined up a lot of obligations and different meetup groups almost every single day of the week before lockdown. So.
Yeah.
I did a lot of gardening and reading. I just took the time to do things that I put off.
Okay.
We had to be careful to avoid this tomato plant that was trying to eat us.
We got rid of it finally.
Yeah, it froze, so it's done.
I took the time to learn a lot more, take more classes toward my career, the kitchen and bath designing.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Started to write a little bit. So that was good. Just journaling and things. So that helps, you know.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
That is cool.
Very good.
I've had the blessing of connecting with people. Actually, we talk about this being, you know, a time where we've had to withdraw from people and so forth. But I've had kind of I've had a bit of an opposite experience in just well, I did it on purpose, you know, but just reaching out to people. And I went for a walk with a friend just yesterday whom I actually had not even seen in 2 years. So,
wow.
So I really enjoyed having the experience of being in touch with more people or friends that I'd lost with and so forth during this period of time. Even though I'm not able to hug them physically, I've still been able to connect with people, interestingly enough.
Yeah, really.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I need to do that more.
Yeah.
Well, I live alone, so it's been my kind of my only my way of being able to cope with it, you know.
Yeah.
That and Zoom sessions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, yeah. So I'm grateful for all of my friends.
Well, that's good. Betty Ann, are you with us? Are you with us? You're muted. I don't know. Oh, there she is.
Oh, I think learning to trust myself more because I really didn't have a lot of other people to to be there most of the time.
Yeah. We're so proud of you for doing the computer. Look at all that you're learning. There you go. You're learning the computer wisdom.
Frustration.
Yeah. You know, the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing while expecting different results. And that's actually the way it works with computers.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the first 5 times, but the 6th time it works.
Yeah, well, that was this morning for sure.
Yeah.
You got to hold your face in a certain way when you're.
Yeah, nobody can understand why it works one day and why it doesn't work the next day. So we know that.
So computers are devices to teach us to be insane.
I thought you teach us patience.
So Bob, any blessings?
That's why we become so impatient when working with them.
Yes, and right on piggybacking off what everybody's saying here, I've thought about these Zoom meetings, and I've learned so much from screen sharing, Paul, the work that you guys have done, and it sounds like Betty's in on it some way, but anyway, using that and what, my sharing in the world has been part of that. And then I don't know whether maybe it was Betty again, but emotionally, simplifying my life has become a magnification of my emotions and an understanding that I've been ADD and, PTSD and dyslexic and all my life, So it's an opportunity to slow for me, this whole thing, and undo the emotional pandemic of masculinity.
And
Bob, have you moved to a new house, or have you always lived in Earlysville?
We've been here for going on 40 years.
Oh, okay.
Colonel, that's not a recent move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that perspective?
And Bob is starting something new, right? Bob, do you want to tell everybody what you're doing now?
Oh, I do, and I'm still feeling butterflies at this moment. So just weekly seminars and small groups online, mindfulness-based, for men and women. And so the small groups will meet 6 times, and with a focus on emotional vulnerability and strengthening through unity of consciousness, all the mindfulness that Ernest Holmes has brought us together with. But, so anyway, yeah, and that will be coming out hopefully in this week, as far as a calendar and topics. And so I'll expand just a little bit, because I just had a powerful session with a guy who is a survivor of clergy sexual abuse. And so that's going to be one of the groups that is offered online if you have suffered sexual abuse. And many of us have, myself. I didn't suffer clergy sexual abuse. But anyway, that's the kind of thing that I'm looking to open up and germinate and start. And so my view is that it will pick up legs and go on its own. And ultimately that men will learn to talk to each other from a place of vulnerability with our women and children and brothers and sisters.
Sounds good.
Clear?
And you're going to send us a link and I can send it out to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
And now we're learning about the Boy Scouts too, all that. I mean, so much coming out.
Yeah, the unfolding. It's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, lots coming out now. Quite a lot.
Hey, Carolyn, I wanted to ask you before we get off, do you have that little book that David Ault was reading from?
Oh, that, yeah, that's.
Do you have it, Kathy?
I don't have it, but you can go online. It's Creative Mind. It's one of Ernest Holmes. It is Ernest Holmes' first book that he wrote.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, and it has.
I'd like to see that paragraph, and study it too.
Yeah.
I wish he'd told us what page it was on.
So you'll have to read the book and find it.
I'll have to read the whole book.
I did go on looking for it, and it tells you different things about it. You can go on and get a synopsis of the book if you want.
Yeah.
On YouTube, if you just Google it, So,
Okay, so what's the name of it again? One more time?
Creative Mind.
Ernest
Creative
Holmes.
Mind.
Creative, 1919, I think it was written.
Yeah.
That's their pandemic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was. Man.
That was before he even finished his Science of Mind book. So that's a really good. And then he has a Science of Mind original book, which is different than the regular Science of Mind book.
It's also on Audible. You can go to Audible, and that book is on Audible.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So news next week, Reverend Faith is going to be speaking to us, and then the week after that, December 6th, we're going to vote on the bylaws. So everybody, please take a couple of minutes and read the bylaws, because we have to have a vote on it the first Sunday in December, which is December 6th. Okay.
What if we have a question about it? Do I go ahead and call you and just try to get some explanation, or what?
Yeah, you could call me or Paul or Jane, anybody.
Okay, I will, because there's a part in there that I don't agree with. Okay.
That's what we're here. We want your opinions, and nothing is in stone. We can change whatever we want.
Nothing sacred.
Yeah.
And I'm going to challenge the vote count.
Make sure you don't have any proof whatsoever that it's not valid.
Kent, you want to join me?
No, just make sure you don't have any proof that it's valid.
Yeah.
And I put an ad in the Echo last night.
Oh, cool. Yay.
Yeah, it's only a 20-word thing, and it was kind of quick. I sent an email, and Michael from the Echo wrote me back, and he said, you have to do it tonight. So we just kind of threw some things together, and it's just a 20-word thing. And it's only going in December, so we can work on the next one, what we want to do for the new year. If we want to keep it there, we can get a cheaper rate if we put it in for 6 months or something like that. And it's only 20 words. We can put in a bigger one. He said he would give us half price for an ad. So
for a 1/8 page ad.
Yeah.
You'd give
Does
us
he
half
still
price on that.
print his the thing out in the neighborhood, where you can pick one up? I haven't seen it in ages.
Well, it's in Wig. It's Kent brings them to.
Yeah, he brought one to us.
Oh, really?
The McDonald's by Staples down by the downtown mall, where he leaves 50 extra copies, which I bring out to Louisa. So there's a good pile of them there if you happen to buy there, or I'm not sure where else they are. If you email him, he'd probably be able to tell you a location that's closer to you.
All right. Well, I just wondered. I think we ought to do in Seaville too. I think that's.
Yeah. That's
Oh yeah. Also, I think the Echo is online as well
too.
Yeah.
Echo's online too.
Yeah. So I was just saying, yeah.
Bill. I'll find out how much that is. And I asked Reverend Faith about ministers that would teach classes, because I'm getting phone calls from people that not living in Charlottesville, but have heard about us, and they're interested in classes and everything. So we're getting out there.
Good.
That's cool.
And anybody that calls headquarters and asks, they do refer them to our group now. So that's good. So I'll find out about Seaville. Maybe we can start the advertising in January and set some classes up. So Reverend Faith is going to get back to me, and I asked her if she knew of any minister that would be interested in helping us. So she's checking into it. I know.
What about your friend that just passed her test?
Florida. She's in Florida. I don't know what she wants to do. You know, I don't think she really wants to be a minister for a group right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, she hasn't decided what she wants to do. So, yeah. So we have Michelle is going to be doing a message in December on, she's studying the Course of Miracles. So she's going to give us a message one Sunday in December on her Course of Miracles. So she's very, very excited about the class she's doing. And she's becoming a teacher in Course of Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So that's coming up. And I wanted to thank everybody for sending checks and doing PayPal and for supporting our center. And we know that we are abundant, amazing spiritual people, and we give out of our abundance, we give out of our love, and we know whatever we give comes back to us, and good goes before us and makes our way clear. So I want to thank you for all of that. And what else did I want to say? I guess that's it. Oh, yeah. So we want to do the Blessed Always, or are we going to do the prayer first? Jane, I guess we'll do Blessed Always. Okay.
No, mute yourself.
Let's see, we're still just doing this with the a cappella, aren't we, Paul?
Yeah.
Okie doke. All right, so here we go. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. That we rest in God and say amen.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
And as we go this week of Thanksgiving, and we take into our hearts the powerful knowing that we are the center of divine attraction. We are powerful God spirits, and whatever we are seeking is already within us, waiting to be awakened. And we are the co-creators of our lives, and we live from the knowing, not the asking. So from this knowing, I know everybody will enjoy a Thanksgiving holiday and be safe. And remember the people in our lives that we are grateful for. And also, it's a good time to reach out to someone who's alone physically and let them know that they are appreciated and they are not alone. So on a personal note, I want to thank each and every one of you here today for being a vital part of our weekly meetings and sharing your knowledge and your experience and your friendships with all of us. And thank you for the support in growing our center. And I look forward to seeing all of you again next week with Reverend Faith. So namaste, enjoy, and have a happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Same to you and all of you.
I'm gonna miss you. I'll be in Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Back from Kentucky seeing my dad, so